biggest claim to fame was that I was in a Best Buy commercial. So this is very exciting for me to be here. All right, so what happened was I used Reddit to start a 501c4 political advocacy organization. It started with this story on a Sunday night. It says, GOP wins in Congress, effectively doom net neutrality. And so I've seen, and we've all seen stories like this, a million stories like this, where the media tells us that it's hopeless for us. Like, it's already done, it's written, it's in the books, and so I was so frustrated, I went to Reddit, and I apologize, there's going to be some salty language. And I posted a link to the article, and I said, you know what? F this idea that we can't get anything done with the Republican Congress. If we want net neutrality or anything else, then we need to demand it. And I said, I propose a Reddit political action committee, not committed to a party or a politician, just good policy. And as you can see, it got 1,600 plus votes. And I did not want to start a political action committee. This was like a whim. I was annoyed. The first comment I made on this was like, I'll give $100 if someone wants to do this. And then I realized no one was going to do it. And so for whatever idiotic reason, I was like, all right, let's do this. And so it went from there. And one of the things you can do on Reddit is start a subreddit, which is so great. Like, you just make a subject that you want to talk about. Like, he talks about the IAMAs. I started a subreddit for this. And you can see sort of the first, these are the first posts from, the first day of Reddit. And if we scroll down, like, these are the very first things we were talking about. People who weren't sure what we were going to do. People talked about TSA, campaign finance was brought up. You can see 4 ways to make rpac not suck, because that's what we started calling. It started out as rpac. And then at some point someone said, let's do an rpac Canada, which I was very flattered by, but I don't think rpac Canada has taken off just yet. But to speak to Reddit's power is that morning I got a call from the Daily Beast, and they wrote a story about this. A 26-year-old Los Angeles comedian, blah, 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 blah. Side note, they asked me if they could write 26-year-old unemployed Los Angeles comedian, and I pushed back on that because if you're an actor in Los Angeles, you are unemployed. That's just how it is. There's like 6 actors working, and they just keep shuffling them through. And then, so Gawker picked it up, and so it was great to get attention. But then Tech President writes about it and says, consensus is in our office is that it's easy to start something on the internet and even easier to never finish it, which is so true, because one of the problems with the internet is, like, I could walk away and no one's going to push me to keep it going. And so that's definitely a challenge, because everyone's anonymous, and this is something Malcolm Gladwell talks about. It's like, you don't have these strong ties. So you're trying to figure out, how to keep those ties, and it's something I definitely struggle with as the days go on. But we're still alive, so that's good. And then Free Press saw us, and then we worked with them to deliver petitions to the FCC this last December when they announced their less than great net neutrality rules. And we actually had Tim Carr from Free Press do an IMAMA, and actually these are so great because this is an incredibly informative discussion about net neutrality that's huge, and I've gone back to this a number of times. And again, it's a great way to interact, and you can find so much great and also just extremely interesting information if you go to Reddit and you go to that IMAMA page. There's just so much interesting stuff. So yeah, I delivered pictures. This is a horrible screenshot of me. Oh, thank you very much. We'll talk later. And then, so 6 weeks after I make a post on Reddit, I have a discussion with Commissioner Mignon Clyburn about net neutrality and why the wireless protections aren't good enough, which God knows why I was doing that. But it was great, and it was completely true. And then Mashable actually cared what we had to say when we said we weren't happy with the net neutrality rules. And so I think, like, working with Reddit is like figuring out what these people, care about and what they think, and you have to follow what they want. And this is today's politics page. And you can see the number one story is a self-post that says the US budget is like a first player playing Oregon Trail. Spend all the money on ammunition so you can shoot at stuff, then wonder why your wagon is falling apart and everyone is dying of dysentery. So, this is the attitude of most of the political people on Reddit. And this post has been seen today by tens of thousands of people, which is an amazing thing. And, he talks about it. You can just post yourself, and this is being seen by so many people. I think Reddit is the most open media outlet that someone can access. Granted, you have to have an incredible amount of luck, good fortune, to hit the front page, but I think it's an amazing and exciting thing. And that's why when we try and take an action, I mentioned that I lose sleep over upvotes, because we don't have a huge mailing list just yet, so when we were doing our first actions, we were hoping to get a lot of upvotes and that people would see it. And that's why the next thing we thought we would do, we wanted to do something interesting. We decided to send Al Franken a bunch of Valentines for net neutrality to say, like, thank you for being such a great champion of net neutrality, as he has been. And I actually posted this a number of times, like one that was kind of angry, like, we're going to lose net neutrality, let's send Al Franken's Valentine. No one voted for it. And, I just tried a bunch of different wording, and then finally this one worked. And as you can see, it got 2,000 plus votes. And then we went, people put into a form on our website to make these Valentines. And then what we did is we printed out the form, and I went to DC. We actually cut them out, these 2,000 or so Valentines, and we went and we met with Al Franken's office and K. Bailey Hutchinson's office, and then of course we, posted about how awesome we were, and which is what you gotta do. You gotta promote yourself, and then because we had developed, a little bit of a rapport with Al Franken, we got their office to agree for Al Franken to take questions from us. And so I put up this Ask Senator Al Franken Anything on the IMAMA, and it was kind of this vicarious thing, because Franken didn't have enough time to actually go on the site and answer all these questions like Wiener did, which I think is actually a more fun and lively way to do it, but we took what we could get. And then, so this is sort of the interesting thing about Reddit, is you don't have control. So I want to talk about net neutrality and Al Franken's championing of this issue, and the top voted comment is, why did you vote to extend the provisions of the Patriot Act? So after this is the #1 comment, and there's so much discussion of this and so much anger about this. I got an email from Franken's people saying, hey, we just want to talk about net neutrality, and if you notice these edits, these are me like backing up, I apologize, clarification, being pummeled, and that is the Reddit community. They want what they want, and you only have so much control over what you're going to get. But Franken did answer the questions that were sent. He actually did answer the Patriot Act question, and something I was really proud of, which was, this is the first place I saw that I could find that Al Franken actually responded to his vote on the Patriot Act. So that's really exciting to me. The first place Al Franken talked about this was on Reddit in response to our questions. And we actually posted these answers, the day after Anthony Weiner had come on Reddit. And Business Insider did a story on it, that Anthony Weiner, blah, 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 has come on to take questions on Reddit. And so I emailed Business Insider to let them know that a day before we had done it. And so then they wrote this headline, here's why Reddit could be a player in the 2012 election. My only problem with this article is that my picture's not big enough. If they could have made that the whole page, or maybe make the article as just a comment on my picture, that might have been better. But I think this speaks to Reddit's power, like I said, as a media outlet. The last thing I said in an email to them is I want to convince Redditors of the power they can wield if they act collectively. Because they control a front page of a website that gets, well, I guess now 15 million unique visitors a month. And if that's not a powerful tool to propel a grassroots movement, I don't know what is. So yeah, that's my crazy story of starting a 501c4 on the pages of Reddit, and here I am. It is now the Open Source Democracy Foundation, or OSDF, or if you have even less time, the OSDF.
Thank you so much. I want to turn it over to questions.